Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. If you're here for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can check out my other videos. And if you're here for a second, third, or fourth time, thank you so much for coming back and painting with me. In today's painting, we're going to do this really colorful sunset boat painting. And we are going to be utilizing all of the colors of the palette. So it's actually lots of fun, great for my first time and beginner painters. You'll get kind of comfortable with some of your brush strokes and the crazy background palette that we'll be working with. And then we'll kind of solidify the composition when we put the sailboat in there and the black silhouette of the trees. So another great painting for my first time and beginner painters. What you're going to see in the box below, there is a link to a supply kit. And in that supply kit is everything that you need for this particular painting. So check out the kit, gather the extra supplies that you need, and then come back and pick up this video where you left off and start painting. In all my classes, I stress really strongly that there truly is no right or wrong way to paint. Just the fact that you're willing to go through the process and you're doing this at home, it takes a lot of courage, and I'm really proud of you for going through the steps for this. So you are going to have fun, and it does get easier the more that you practice. I created this channel in conjunction with my online school. So after you've done some of my free videos here on this channel, I want you to run over or jump over to my online school, Paint with Lovejoy, and I want you to check out my other more involved, more in-depth courses that I have on there. And I do feature my signature Paint Your Pet class, and that one is geared towards first-time and beginner painters. And it's really nice because you get to kind of look at your pet from a whole new perspective. You're going to learn a lot about your value scale, and you'll end up kind of impressing yourself with what you create through that course. So keep painting, keep building your skills. It does get more comfortable and easier as you go along the process. So I think for now that's enough. Let's go ahead and get started painting. Alright guys, it's going to be a fun painting, and I like it because it uses pretty much all the colors. So make sure you grab your supplies, do turn on your favorite music, and as always, take your progress photos. So in this one, we are going to be starting with our light warm colors first. So we're going to start with the light yellow. And once you've transferred your traceable, you don't have to go over it with the black outlines. You're just going to go right into your painting. So with that light yellow, we're kind of starting in the center and just using these nice little back and forth dash marks. You can use some cross hatching where you're making a little X mark. And we're going to create this kind of like abstract shape. And we're going to be building our other colors off of this shape. And if you're one of my first time painters, please take a deep breath and relax. I'm really proud of you for painting at home. And just enjoy the process of painting. You are going to get better and more comfortable with more practice. So just have fun. Pretend that you're a 5-year-old right now and you're just playing with paint. And if you are using student grade paint, I do recommend that you apply it a little bit thicker, and that will give you a little more workability so you can do some blending, and it'll give a little more opaque coverage. All right, and we are adding it below the horizon line, and this is going to be the colors in the sky reflecting on the water. And then in that mountain shape, we've got a few dots, and we're going to do some reflecting lines in the water, kind of starting there and kind of zigzagging and pulling it down towards the canvas. All right, and if you actually do what I did right there and you get a little bit of another color, just wipe it off or put more paint on top of it. It's not the end of the world. Bob Ross actually coined it right as happy accidents. All right, and if there's any place that you want to put this color that I'm not putting it, you can. You can totally change this. If you want more of another color, feel free to swap it out. And now I'm moving into more of the straight yellow, the darker yellow, and kind of going around the perimeter of some of the places where we put the lighter yellow. Again, we're kind of starting with our light colors first, our light warm colors, radiating out to our dark reds, and then we'll move to some blues and purples. And again, this one's kind of like an impressionistic style painting.
It's a lot of fun. I like that the whole color palette is used. And it gives my beginners and first-time painters just really good experience with mixing your paint, with blending a little bit, and applying your marks to the canvas. All right, and you will notice that as you are applying one color, if it slightly overlaps the lighter color, in this case the yellow overlapping the light yellow, you may realize that they blend a little bit. So using light pressure with your brush, you can kind of soften that line, that transition from one color to the next with a little bit of pressure. And this is called wet on wet blending. All right, good place to pause the video and take your progress photo. Now we're going to add a touch of orange. So it's still using that white and yellow mixture and a little bit of orange, and it gives it kind of that orange sherbety color. And just like with the other color, we're going to be putting this around the perimeter of our yellows. All right, if you're holding your breath, take a deep breath. You're doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. And this is starting to take shape, and it looks kind of crazy cool as we add in this orange, and then it'll get a little bit darker with the reds and the red orange that we add next. And like I said earlier, if you want more or less of any color, it is completely up to you. This is your painting. Make it what you want for you. And trust your instincts if you're thinking about changing something. Your instincts will lead you in the right direction. And if you paint something that you don't like, you can let it dry and paint it again, or paint on top of it, or try the painting again. It's just good practice the more that you paint. All right, another place for a progress photo. Now we're actually grabbing the direct orange, that darker orange, and just like we did with the yellow next to the light yellow, putting it around selectively around the perimeter of the color we were just using. Still kind of keeping, using the tip of the brush and the back and forth little dash marks, kind of horizontal lines. If you end up using a different type of brush stroke, just kind of keep with the same brush stroke so you have uniformity throughout your canvas, throughout your mark making. All right, now we're going to go a little bit darker. I'm going to mix some red and orange together. And a little bit of red does go a long way in the orange, so you may have to adjust your color. Feel free to do that. And again, you're just going a little bit darker than the orange you were just using. And this is going to be the intense reflections in the sky. There we go. And don't forget to put a few below on the water line. And if you don't want to put the red, you can switch this out with another color. You can put more of the orange, or you can move the video forward and move into the light blues and purples that we'll be adding next. You're doing great. Maybe take a notice. Are you a little more relaxed right now than when you first started? Just the fact of moving paint on a canvas is very therapeutic. All right, pause the video, take your progress photo. We're going to put one more shade darker. I'll be going with the straight red, the direct red. If your painting is already pretty intense and already almost your true red, and you need to make it a little bit darker, you can add a touch of blue or purple to your red, and it'll make it a shade darker. And that's kind of what you want to do if you want to do this step. You're going to go just a little bit darker, intensify that red, or use the straight red based on your painting and what you need. When you do get to the mountain, adding the red, if you did use the darker color, the blue and the purple, or the purple and red, or purple and blue, clean your brush and switch back to red as you move into the mountain. And then pause the video, take your progress photo. You are going to clean your brush really good, or use a new brush, and we're going to make a light blue. You're going to start with your white, add a little bit of blue until you get to a shade of light blue that you like. And I do recommend that you let your yellows and your reds and your oranges dry, because if you come up with the blue next to the yellow paint while it is wet and they mix together, they will create green. So unless you want that in your sky, let your paint dry, or just be very careful, very cautious as you are coming up to the yellow paint with your light blue. And we're going to move down into the bottom sky, or into the reflections in the water, filling that in, and then we will make a darker blue, and then we'll move into some lavender in the next couple of steps. All right, so you're going to clean your brush really good. We're going to make a light lavender. And same thing as making the light blue. You're going to start with white, add a little bit of purple until you get to a light purple of your choosing. And we're going to be adding that in the water reflection. The sky will get some, and then we put some darker colors on top of that. All right, doing a good job. Again, if you're holding your breath, take a deep breath. And you're still kind of an abstract painter right now. This looks really cool. And just enjoy the process of adding the paint and getting rid of the white canvas space, and how you interpret it a little differently, how much better you feel, how much you kind of enjoy being a little 5-year-old right now. You're doing great. And if you have to make your color a second or third time, it doesn't have to be an exact shade, so don't stress about that. We already have quite a bit of variety going on and so many colors that an extra little color in there is not going to be bad. All right, pause the video, take your progress photo. And we're going to go to purple paint. And we're going to be adding a little bit more of that straight purple, darker purple. If you started with a really light lavender, maybe you don't use the straight purple, but just maybe something a little bit darker than what you were just using. And again, you're just kind of painting right on top of the lavender using those little horizontal marks. And if you are moving right into this step after the last one, your lavender still should be a little wet, so you can do a little bit of blending between the two colors. If you feel like using your fingers and finger painting a little bit to do some blending, go right ahead. Just don't touch anything in your house and wash your hands when you're done. But it's very therapeutic to do some finger painting. All right, if there's anything that you want to put in your sky or in your reflection of your water before you move into the mountains, or if there's any canvas space showing, fill it in with a color of your choice. But there should be no canvas space filled in or showing at this point in the background, and then as we move into the mountain. All right, as you move into the mountain, kind of filling in the space, you're going to mix purple and blue. It just makes a really pretty rich dark color. And you're filling in all the remaining canvas space on that mountain. And if you overlap the red, which you'll see that I'm doing right now, that's okay. That red's actually pretty strong, and it'll still kind of shine through your color and offer some shading, some value. And yeah, I think I actually cover all of it here. So go ahead and fill that in. Nice, you're doing good. You are at what we call the underpainting, where no canvas space is showing. All right, now I went back with the pointy brush, grabbed that red, and I'm going to kind of glob it on top of that blue and purple mixture. And what this is going to do is actually create what we call a warm shadow. It's warm because it's got the red, but it's also kind of pushing back some of the shading in our mountain, giving the illusion of a mountainscape. All right, so now we're moving into white paint. We're going to put our moon or our sun on here, whatever you want it to be, and just kind of making a circle, and then moving to the reflection and adding reflection lights on top of the water. All right, pause the video, take your progress photo. We're going to move into black paint. We're going to put our sailboat, excuse me, we're going to put our sailboat in there. And you can make your sailboat as big as you want, as small as you want. You can put it pretty much anywhere you want on the canvas. I'm starting with the sails and making kind of a right angle, 90-degree angle triangle for one sail. And the left sail, leaving a little bit of space in between the two triangles and making a smaller 90-degree triangle, flipped the other direction. If you have a particular sailboat or yacht in mind, you can switch that out to that silhouette and make this painting even more uniquely your own. And for the base of the boat, it is a trapezoid or a rectangle with the bottom 2 feet skewed inward. All right, and moving over to the mountain, kind of putting that horizon line back on there. We're going to be putting some shading, and it's kind of sloppy, little X marks, and just utilize your power of observation to the general area that I place them. Again, it does not have to be exact, and it's just giving a third value, a little bit more of depth and illusion to the mountain. And it's actually a good spot to pause the video and take your progress photo. We're going to move back up to the small flat brush, and we're going to start putting the tree in on the left-hand side of the canvas. And using quite a bit of black paint, you're literally just going to be making dots, stabbing your brush on top of the canvas, and overlapping these dots. This is optional. If you do not want to add this to your painting, you don't have to. But you're imagining that maybe each dot is a leaf on a tree that's a little bit out of frame to the left-hand side of the canvas. And you do want to overlap those dots. You want some of them going off the edge of the canvas. Maybe a few of them, you're not creating a straight line, so they kind of go out of formation. Maybe some are falling on the water. Don't try to think too much. Just fill up that space with a bunch of repeating dots. And again, remember to breathe. You're doing great. You're just painting. It's a lot of fun. You've come a long way from a white canvas. All right. And again, look at your canvas. Maybe get out of your chair. Look at it from a distance. Do you need to fill up that tree a little bit more? Do you need to add a few little extra foliage somewhere? Your call. Trust your instincts as you're looking at your painting. And if you want to put a little beach on there in the corner, you can just do that with black, because at this time of day, we would have such a stark contrast next to all these colors. All right, and now moving into white paint, we're going to go back to the mountain and imagining that there's a village on there, some houses, and their lights are on. So using that pointing brush, we're just making some dots and then going into the water and making those reflection lines of the light reflecting into the water. And I just kind of start right below, and it's almost like a little zigzag line as it's moving towards the bottom of the canvas. You're doing great. I'm really proud of you for painting at home. It does get easier with more practice, so try to find a creative outlet on a monthly basis. And check out the other paintings on my online school. There are at least 3 or 4 others with this bright color palette, and then kind of a nice bold silhouette design. And these are great to get comfortable with painting, so perfect for my beginner painters. I tell all my students in the studio that life's not getting any less stressful, so it is up to you to kind of find your stress relieving aspects in your life. All right, we're going to move into light yellow, and still just kind of adding some lights on our mountain for this little village that's out there, maybe some reflecting lines on the water. If you're feeling inclined to put some color somewhere where I don't, go ahead and do that. We're going to put a little bit on our black silhouette of our sailboat. Again, just kind of breaks up that space. We will put a little bit on top of the tree and move back to that kind of big dots, that stabbing method. And it's just nice to utilize all kinds of colors. And on the mountain, those lights stand out so much because the mountain is so dark, and then the white and yellow are so bright in contrast to the background. All right, if you need to, move back to that light yellow and orange mixture, putting some highlights on the top of the mountain. If your orange is a little bit lighter or darker than mine, that's okay. And again, if you're inclined to put this somewhere that I do not, go right ahead and do that. Trust your instincts. All right, pause the video, take your progress photo. We are almost done. So we're going to go back to light blue, and we're going to go back to the water. And kind of from that horizon line, we're going to keep our brush strokes pretty horizontal. And again, we're imagining that these are the ripples on top of the water. So we're going to do this with light blue, and then we're going to do it with the dark blue. And you will be overlapping all these colors. And again, I'm imagining that this is kind of a calm, nice sailing day. So the water's pretty calm and flat. So these are nice, long horizontal strokes. If you want a bit more movement, you could kind of give your strokes a bit of a sway or a curve to them. And you do want to overlap some of these brush strokes, as well as have some of them continue off the edge of the canvas on the sides and on the bottom. And that gives an indication that there's more to this scene than what we're just seeing on the canvas. So it gives it a little bit greater life than just the painting. All right, now you're going to do the same thing with the blue paint. And again, using that light pressure with your brush, making these long kind of horizontal lines, overlapping the other colors, overlapping some of the lighter blue. This is kind of giving just another ripple in the water, another illusion on our painting. Make sure that your light blue and dark blue lines move all the way up underneath the mountain and underneath the sailboat, if not even overlapping that mountain shoreline and the bottom of the sailboat. That kind of gives again the illusion that the water's coming right up to the mountain and it's coming up right up to the bottom of the ship, and that the ship is sitting inside the water, or sitting on top of and a little breaking the surface of the water. All right, great job today, you guys. I'm so glad you decided to paint with me. I'm so glad you took time out of your day to do this. I do hope that you feel a lot more relaxed now than you did when you first started this painting. And please try to find a creative outlet on a monthly basis. All right, so until next time, thanks so much for painting with me. Cheers.
Hey gang, I hope your paintings turned out really nice, and I hope you enjoyed the process of painting. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to paint with me today. As you're posting your pictures to social media, please tag me, Paint with Lovejoy, or email me your photos, paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. I get really excited when I open up your emails and I see your pictures and realize that people are enjoying the videos and going through the process and impressing themselves at home. So please send me your final pictures and any questions that you may have. Anything that you want me to paint on this channel in the future, leave a comment below and I'll add that to my production list and get to it as quickly as I can. And any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know. I do check my YouTube channel twice a day and try to reply to all the comments during that time frame. So thanks again for painting with me. Really honored, and I look forward to painting with you in the future. Cheers.